Chicago, November 1479. A little after 5 in the morning. I've just come to my room, Livy darling. I guess this was the memorable night of my life. By George, I never was so stirred since I was born. I heard 4 speeches which I can never forget. One by Emery Stores, one by General Velas, oh, wasn't it wonderful? One by General Logan, mighty stirring. One by somebody whose name escapes me. And one by that splendid old soul, Colonel Bob Ingersoll. Oh, it was just the supremest combination of English words that was ever put together since the world began. My soul, how handsome he looked as he stood on that table, in the midst of those 500 shouting men, and poured the molten silver from his lips. Lord, what an organ is human speech when it is played by a master! All these speeches may look dull in print, but how the lightning glared around them when they were uttered, and how the crowd roared in response. It was a great night, a memorable night. I am so richly repaid for my journey. And how I did wish with all my whole heart that you were there to be lifted into the very 7th heaven of enthusiasm, as I was. The army songs, the military music, the crash and applause, Lord bless me, it was unspeakable. Out of compliment, they placed me last in the list, number 15. I was to hold the crowd, and bless my life, I was in awful terror when number 14 rose at 1 o'clock this morning and killed all the enthusiasm by delivering the flattest, insipidest, silliest of all responses to woman that ever a weary multitude listened to. Then General Sherman, chairman, announced my toast, and the crowd gave me a good round of applause as I mounted on top of the dinner table, but it was only on account of my name, nothing more. They were all tired and wretched. They let my first sentence go in silence, till I paused and added, "We stand on common ground." Then they burst forth like a hurricane, and I saw that I had them. From that time on, I stopped at the end of each sentence and let the tornado of applause and laughter sweep around me. And when I closed with, "And if the child is but the prophecy of the man, there are mighty few who will doubt that he succeeded," I say it who oughtn't to say it, the house came down with a crash. For 2 hours and a half now I've been shaking hands and listening to congratulations. General Sherman said, "Lord bless you, my boy, I don't know how you do it. It's a secret that's beyond me. But it was great. Give me your hand again." And do you know, General Grant sat through 14 speeches like a graven image, but I fetched him. I broke him up utterly. He told me he laughed till the tears came, and every bone in his body ached. And, do you know, the biggest part of the success of the speech lay in the fact that the audience saw that for once in his life he had been knocked out of his iron serenity. Bless your soul, 'twas immense. I never was so proud in my life. Lots and lots of people, hundreds I might say, told me my speech was the triumph of the evening, which was a lie. Ladies, Tom, Dick, and Harry, even the policemen, captured me in the halls and shook hands. And scores of army officers said, "We shall always be grateful to you for coming." General Pope came to bunt me up. I was afraid to speak to him on that theater stage last night, thinking it might be presumptuous to tackle a man so high up in military history. General Schofield and other historic men paid their compliments. Sheridan was ill and could not come, but I'm to go with a general of his staff and see him before I go to Colonel Grant's. General Augur, well, I've talked with them all, received invitations from them all, from people living everywhere, and as I said before, it's a memorable night. I wouldn't have missed it for anything in the world. But my sakes, you should have heard Ingersoll's speech on that table. Half an hour ago he ran across me in the crowded halls and put his arms about me and said, "Mark, if I live 100 years, I'll always be grateful for your speech. Lord, what a supreme thing it was." But I told him it wasn't any use to talk. He had walked off with the honors of that occasion by something of a majority. Bully boys, Ingersoll. Traveled with him in the cars the other day, and you can make up your mind we had a good time. Of course, I forgot to go and pay for my hotel car and so secure it, but the Army officers told me an hour ago to rest easy. They would go at once, at this unholy hour of the night, and compel the railways to do their duty by me, and said, "You don't need to request the Army of the Tennessee to do your desires. You can command its services." Well, I bummed around that banquet hall from 8 in the evening till 2 in the morning, talking with people and listening to speeches, and I never ate a single bite or took a sup of anything but ice water. So if I seem excited now, it is the intoxication of supreme enthusiasm. By George, it was a grand night, a historical night. And now it is 6:15 a.m., so goodbye, and God bless you and the bays, my darlings. Samuel. Show it to Joe if you want to. I saw some of his friends here.